Welcome to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Show. This is a special episode since yesterday I was on the road and I couldn't make anything, and I don't want to leave you guys without a recipe this week because I'm committed to sharing a recipe every week. So, I'm your host, Samantha Salmon, certified holistic health coach, author of You Can Afford to Be Healthy, and the link to that book is in the description to this video. There's also some helpful free resources. Every time I go live, they're in the description in the episode resources section. So definitely make sure to check that out. Quick disclaimer. Get approval from your doctor before implementing anything that I recommend. Everyone's situation is different, and we do not have an agreement between you and I. Don't know what's going on with your whole health history and your whole health profile to let you know specifically what can work for you. If you're in general good health, then all of these recipes should be fine. If you have an allergy to something, there's always different ways to substitute. And of course, you can check with your doctor what you're allowed to eat, not allowed to eat, what kind of physical activities that you're allowed to do, because, everyone's in a different situation. Okay? So, if you read the description, you would have seen this thing that came out in Men's Health, which I wanted to reference because there are men in my family that continue to eat food that is not for the best, for their best health. And of course, this pains me, it hurts me. And how do I communicate it? Through social media, because it's just the easiest way. When you're dealing with family members, you have to be very patient, very loving, and just very understanding of where they are in their journey. And it could be a lot easier to help a stranger because when someone is ready to make a change, they're there and it's a lot easier. But there are people out there who are just not ready to make a change. They're willing to do the same old, and it's gonna take the message to be said repeatedly and to be said in different ways for them to understand that they can change and their body will, be better for it. So I wanted to actually read this from Men's Health, and just to say, okay, the reason why, as I mentioned yesterday, veganism is on the rise, and the reason is because the research at this point is just so tremendous. Like, no one can escape the fact that meat is not meant for human consumption. Dairy is not meant for human consumption. Our body is not meant to process animal meat, especially as much as America is eating. It is taxing to our kidneys. It is taxing to our cardiovascular system. And if you know somebody who is having problems breathing, then definitely look at their diet and see where that can be cleaned up. Dairy causes mucus, causes inflammation. Meat is acidic, causes inflammation. And because it's acidic, it's pulling calcium out of the bones because the body is trying to preserve itself. It's always working on self-preservation. So it's trying to neutralize the acid, and so you're losing minerals from your bones. So I want to read this quickly from Men's Health. It says, obesity has been tied to heart disease, poor mental health, which we don't really talk about. And one of the reasons that is, just to add a little bit to what they're saying, is when you're eating foods, highly processed foods, acidic foods, foods that are irritating to the gut lining, you actually disrupt the bacteria, the healthy, helpful bacteria that's in your gut that actually regulates different processes, your nerves, your neurological system, and so your brain actually will not function properly. You'll have brain fog. You'll, have forgetfulness. This book, Wheat Belly Total Health, by Dr. William Davis. He talks a lot about that, how some people get schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, suicidal thoughts, all these things from grain consumption. And of course, all grains, for the most part, the grains that Americans are consuming is highly, highly processed because it's most people, I would say 99% of Americans are not eating raw grains. And I honestly, personally, would not recommend eating raw grains. I know some raw restaurants have grains raw. I just don't think grains are meant for human consumption. And especially if they're raw, I feel like they can be, tremendously irritating. But that's where the poor mental health is coming into play. Of course, if you are clogging up your system with meat and dairy, so the cardiovascular system is really being impacted. Circulation is not flowing properly, and you need oxygen and brain flow to the brain for it to work properly. It goes on to say chronic pain. Of course, we know if you're carrying excess weight, it's putting pressure on your joints. And several different cancers. Yes, because meat and dairy, their meat has already been proven, shown to cause cancer. And especially, and I want to put an emphasis here because not everyone's in a place to just not eat meat at all, which is understandable because we were all indoctrinated from an early age to eat meat. The most of us, not all of us, but most of us. But if you can minimize it, instead of a meatless Monday, how about a meat Monday? And 6 days out of the week, you're not eating meat. How about one day out of the month, you're eating meat, and the other 29, 30 days, you're not eating meat? What can that do for your body? I challenge you between now and the next time we go live, and you can tell me the next time we go live how that worked out for you, how your body is feeling, what your energy is like, what your brain function is like. I promise you, you will feel a difference. So let's see what else they say on here. Past research has found that dropping just 5% of your body weight will improve several risk factors associated with diabetes and heart disease. Of course, because what's the cause of diabetes? Excess fat in the cells. And how can you get rid of fat? Saturated fat is in the animal protein. Get rid of it. You clean up the fat. Of course, heart disease. When you have too much fat in the blood in your cardiovascular system, you're having plaque building up in your arteries. Where's the stuff coming from? Meat and dairy. So of course, just getting rid of that, drop yourself down at least 5%, you're going to start to see a difference. If your diet is loaded with processed and fast food like donuts, white bread, pizza, burgers, and endless dessert, that can contribute to weight gain quickly. And I will let you know from my personal experience. I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay, story time before we get into the juice. So for those of you who are new to me, and new to rawfoodmealplanner.com, my husband and I had a juice bar called Earth Healing Cafe in Chicago for 7 years, okay? The first year of that business, I was in there working 7 days a week, okay? And my breakfast was apple pie, raw vegan apple pie, and strawberry cheesecake, and we had some other delicious pies I can't even remember, but those two are the ones. I know the raw vegan apple pie was like the bomb diggity. That was my favorite. Made with walnuts, dates, almonds, and apples, cinnamon, and raisins. Very simple. Probably just walnuts. Maybe it didn't have the almonds in there. Yeah, I think it just had the walnuts. But anyway, that was my breakfast, okay? I was eating desserts all the time, and I lost weight. I got to my skinniest. I got to 115 pounds, okay? 105, and mind you, I'm 5'3", so that was still a really nice size for me, but that was the skinniest I had ever been, and I was not starving myself. I was eating delicious, satisfying foods, and it had fat in there, but it was healthy fat coming from nuts, okay? I had my omegas in there, have all these nutrients and things. The plant-based foods, they're full of color because this is what our body needs. This is the phytonutrients, the minerals, the compounds that our cells need to actually operate properly, right? So anyway, just to tell you that desserts are not off limits when you put yourself in the plant-based world. It actually opens up your whole eating world. I mean, there are so many foods I said I would never eat and I wouldn't like, or blah, blah, blah. I told myself a whole story before um, that I wouldn't eat all these foods because I wouldn't like it because at the time I didn't like vegetables. This was before, actually, even when I started my vegan journey, I did not like vegetables. I ate a lot of pasta and bread, and I blew up to 140 pounds. That was the heaviest I'd ever been. And let me tell you something. If had I not experienced my grandma die on hospice care from diabetes, I could have gotten a lot bigger than 140 because I love to eat. I will sit and eat all day. I love food. That's why I say I'm just like you. I'm just like most Americans. I'm just like these people who are dealing with obesity and overweight issues because they love to eat. It gives them comfort. They enjoy it. I get that. I understand that completely. But you know what? I love my family. I love life. And it's after all the work I put into me, myself, and my life experience, I'm not going to throw it all away for food, especially when I know that I can eat healthily and enjoy it. So I want to make sure that I'm bringing to you some delicious recipes, and I've been doing juices. They're very quick. It's very easy. Like literally, I put everything in this juicer, take it to the sink, rinse it down, and that's it. Of course, I wash the produce beforehand and peel certain things. Like I had to peel this orange and I peel this lime, but that's pretty much it. So anyway, I encourage you all to put the meat down, okay, and pick up fruits and vegetables. And today, the fruits and vegetables we're picking up is spinach. I put the recipe in the description. So we have spinach here. We have 4 really small pears because that's what I can get. Let me tell you what I love about Los Angeles. Who's with me? Birdie. Hey, Birdie. Thanks for joining us today. I love Lassen's in Los Angeles because they've made a commitment that everything they offer in the store is local and organic. So I don't even have to choose. It makes it super easy, and I just really, really appreciate them. Thank you so much, Lassen's. Makes it easy to shop. I got 2 stalks of celery here. Have my orange, cucumber, apple. And all right, let's turn this thing on and make some delicious juice, okay? Now that I've already done my rant. Let's see. This thing smells so good. I know it's going to taste delicious. And I have about 30 ounces here. So I can possibly even save some for tomorrow. So let's do a little taste test. I got so much goodness in there. And you know what I love about juices is that all of this produce, like to eat this would take a long time. And, most people will find it pretty unenjoyable because they're not used to the natural flavors of fruits and vegetables. However, when you blend, or of vegetables primarily, most people love fruits, but when you juice all of it together, you mix all these flavors and you get all of this nutrients you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. It just makes it really easy to get your nutrients naturally. Very good. This is very subtle. For those who don't like their juices too sweet, this is definitely for you. Has a really nice balance of flavors. So you guys, get your juicers out. Make this juice. If you want to know what kind of juicer to get, I love to use my Breville. It's quick, it's easy. There's also another great juicer you can get. You can download my free guide in the description on my website, rawfoodmealplanner.com. The link to that's in the description. 24 kitchen tools to make food prep fun and easy. And let me tell you, like I said, I'm just like you. I don't like to spend too much time in the kitchen. I like things quick. I like things easy. I like when it tastes good and I feel satisfied. But guess what? I like food that loves me back, that feeds my cells the nutrients it eats. I don't have time to waste calories on foods that don't have any value for my body. Okay? So, cheers. Enjoy, all right? Have a great day, and I'll see you on Sunday at our next live show.